Hello, Legal Shield family. Aaron Browning here, calling in from my home office in Fairfax Station, Virginia, and I am excited for today's topic. I'm going to be discussing how to lead a successful PZC launch. And this audience, guys, of who I'm tailoring this message for today is going to be leaders, the leadership team. Perhaps it's the sponsoring associate, the person doing the presentation. So make sure you guys are looking at this training through that sort of lens, that sort of filter. And with that, let's jump in. So the setup for a successful PZC launch, really, really important, right? Is a PZC launch for everyone? I get this question a lot, and I think the answer is going to shock some people today. It's actually not, right? What I've learned over the last year of doing this model exclusively, right, doing it, running at it really, really fast, is the 80-20 principle shows up in Legal Shield just like it shows up everywhere else. And what I mean by that is about 80% of the new associates I talk to lean in. They're excited about a PZC launch. And the other 20 are not, guys. And this usually shows up on the welcome call. I'll go over a PZC setup in about 60 to 90 seconds, hyping it up, getting really excited about it. And I'll ask the new associate, are you ready to launch your business today with the PZC? And once again, 8 out of 10 say, heck yeah, let's go. Let's do it today. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's run. The other 20% usually will answer, you mean like today? You mean like tomorrow? I was thinking we could do this in a month, in 2 months. And I say all that, guys, because I unfortunately in the beginning would try to force a PZC down some people, right? I was so excited. I saw the success. I was like, oh, let me shake them. Let's help them experience this level of success. You cannot force this launch model onto people, guys. The PZC launch is made for speed. It's made for urgency. And we have so many other amazing tools and vehicles of this company to help get people launched in different ways, right? So for the people that don't want to run fast, leverage the corporate Zooms, leverage the prospect app. There's so many amazing tools to use, but really focus on those 80% that want to run, guys. You're going to have a much better success rate doing that. The last thing on that too, guys, is set up the launch for same day. Trust me on this. We're doing about 50% of our launches same day. At worst case, we're talking 24 to 48 hours. It should not be any longer than that out, and that's really, really important. Give your new associate the proven script. I touched on this in the new associate PZC training video that hopefully your new associate's watching. I want you guys to echo this because it's really important. We're all on the same page. We're all preaching from the same script. Hype that script up. Just don't give them a script and say, hey, here, good luck. Go send this out. Tell them it's the hottest script in Legal Shield right now. The script has recruited 1,000 people in the last 12 months. When you use language like that, when your energy is high on this, guys, it's the energy is going to transfer. And that's what this is all about. You want your brand new associate to get really excited to go send this out to people they know, love, like, and trust. And on that, reiterate that we're focusing on the warm market. This is not a cold market launch. This is their friends, their family, their neighbors, their coworkers, people they'd have over to Sunday dinner, people they'd have over for a birthday party, and keep echoing that message, guys. Really, really important. The other, tip on that, when they're really dialed in on the warm market, that's how you're able to do a same-day PZC launch, right? Because if I called my best friend and said, hey, I know it's last minute. I have something I need you to see in 4 hours. I'm going to send you over a link. Can you move things around to get on? My best friends is saying yes, guys, hands down. All of your best friends are saying yes. But when you take that same message to a cold market, today, no, I couldn't do it today. I could do it next week. You're going to get a much colder response, which means you can't launch same day. So really, really important. You guys are preaching that as well. And then give your new associate a goal for the number of guests. This is so important, guys. We all love to play for score, right? If you ever watched a professional sporting event, if it's a scrimmage, it's not the same level of intensity, guys, even if they're professional athletes. It's just not. But yeah, when they get on the playing field and the scoreboard is lit up, people love playing for score. So give your associate a goal. And be careful here, guys. You don't want to give someone a new associate that has a lot of influence. They're really leaning in on this. They're hungry for this. And you tell that person to I'm going to challenge you today and go out and get 3 guests on your PZC launch today. Guess what happened? They're going to go out and get 3 versus me challenging someone with influence saying, you know what? I don't know if you could do it or not, but if you're as good as I think you are, I bet you could get 25 guests on this PZC launch in 4 hours. They're going to lean into that conversation, right? And the reverse is true too. You don't want to blow anyone out. Someone's never done something like this. They're not used to inviting. They want to go a little bit slower, right? Be careful throwing out that big 25 number because they might feel like they're letting you down. That might be more of a 10 a goal number, right? But you got to tailor that to your audience as well. Really, really important. So now we're at the day of the PZC. Check in with that new associate every single hour the day of the PZC. This is so important, guys. And this allows for course correction, right? We had someone we brought over probably 6 months ago now. I remember when I called him day of, it was 12 p.m., 12 p.m. my time, 9 a.m. his time. He was on the West Coast. And I said, how's it going so far? How many guests do we got? How many confirmations? I don't have any yet. And I share this with you guys because I was able to motivate him. I was able to course correct, make a pivot, get him excited again so that he was able to have a huge Zoom turnout, right? If I would have waited like most to call that associate 15 minutes before our launch time, guys, I don't care who you are. It is very hard to course correct and pivot in a 15-minute window, right? You're not setting yourself up for success or the new associate. So check in. And the 2 questions I asked, by the way, that check-in is about a 60-second check-in. Everyone watching this call today has time for that. 2 questions. How many invites did you get out this past hour? And how many confirmations do we have? Both of those questions, I know where to tailor my message if I need to do a little coaching. If they didn't get any invites out, right, that's an effort conversation. I got to get them realigned, perhaps with their big why they're doing this. If they don't have any confirmations out yet, but they're sending out lots of invites, there's most likely a scripting issue, something they're doing with language. And what I've seen most of the time is they're overselling it, they're over-talking it. But either way, I'm able to course correct with just those 2 simple questions. And then set expectations again for the follow-up. The cool thing with these 2 training videos, guys, is that this isn't going to be the first time your new associate's having this conversation with you. Hopefully you led them back to my video training that new associate. I talk about the importance of follow-up. So now when you're saying it, it's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th time they're hearing it, guys. You're going to have a lot better sink-in ratio, so to speak, doing it this way. But remind them, challenge them again to play to win versus playing not to lose. Remind them that most new guests are not going to call that associate right after that PZC ends. Really important they're hearing this message early rather than later. And then also make sure the associate, the sponsor, and the presenter block off an hour and a half for a PZC, guys. This is really important. We're talking about a 30-minute presentation with about an hour set aside for follow-up. I can't tell you how many PZCs I did in the beginning where we'd kill the presentation, we get the new associate on the phone, we're so excited. Okay, cool, let's start the follow-up. And he's like, I have to go to work, man. Like, there's no way I can do it right now. Guys, that's not the associate's fault. That's my fault as a leader. I did not set the stage. I did not manage expectations. I didn't guide him or her on how this process works. So make sure all 3 of you are setting aside an hour and a half. Really, really important. So now it's showtime. The PZC is live. This is what gets most of us really, really excited. Remind that associate to be on the Zoom at least 5 minutes early. Have their sponsor on as well if the sponsor is not doing the presentation. This is really important, guys. We are all about growing leaders, right? Getting your hands on emerging leaders, getting your hands on talent. I do not want to do a PZC for a brand new associate without their sponsor. I want their sponsor taking mental reps with us, learning how to do this, the PZC presentation, so that we can pass that torch eventually, right? 1, it becomes leverage. 2, so that the presenter isn't always the ceiling of achievement for that sponsor, right? We want as many people doing these as possible, especially if you're really trying to have massive growth. Remind everyone to have cameras on, so important. Remind the new associate that they have 3 tasks to do during the PZC. And once again, guys, this will not be the first time they heard this message. They need to be on early to welcome guests. They need to edify the presenter. On that note, leaders, make sure you're giving your edification script to that new associate. Don't ask them to write their own. Don't let them wing it. Help them with that. Simple formula, 3 facts and 1 emotion. It doesn't have to be very long. We're talking 45 to 60 seconds max. And then really challenge that new associate to take note of which guests showed up and then who's leaning in, who's excited during the presentation. This is so important. And then the presenter, obviously you have to have video on, right? Self-explanatory. Have good audio, have good lighting, dress professionally, and have a non-distracting background. This call, this launch was scheduled, right? So there's no reason you should be in your car, no reason you should be at a Starbucks or anything like that. Be somewhere professional. And by the way, on that note, if you don't have good audio yet, don't let that be a reason not to do it. It doesn't matter that much, but if you have the audio, use it, right? Okay, hopefully you guys are tracking on that too. And then a PZC is not a regular business briefing. This, unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way. We've been doing PZCs now for 16 months, guys. We were failing at these more than probably anyone watching this, if we're being honest, because we do so many of them. And the biggest mistake I made in the beginning was treating my PZC like a briefing. And it's not, guys. The material's the same. Everything else is different, in my opinion, right? So encourage your guests to have video on. Most of the guests are going to follow the new associate. If their video's on, they tend to have their video on too. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Make a joke. Ask people to turn their video on. I'll give you guys a bad joke that I use all the time. It's funny. I at least laugh. I'll tell people, if the new associate's name is Tom, I'll say, guys, real quick, everyone has their video off. Tom told me 2 hours ago that his family, his best friends, his neighbors, his coworkers were the best looking group of people anybody's ever seen. Yet everybody's video's off. I'm starting to wonder if Tom was telling the truth, right? It's so funny when I say this. Immediately someone pops their video on. I don't know why I do it like a light switch, but someone will pop their video on. And then what happens, because it's all a warm market, they all know each other. The minute the rest of the guests see someone else with their video on, we see 3 more, 4 more, 5 more pop on. It happens like popcorn, guys. It is so funny. So make a joke out of it. Just ask people to turn the video on. Really important for the presenter as well. Because as a presenter, I feed off that energy. If I can see everyone engaging, they're leaning in, doing that sort of stuff, I end up stepping my game up even better. And then the last note on that, it's also so our associate can take notes, right? It's really hard to read energy if we don't have a video because they're not talking, right? And hopefully you guys are tracking on that one as well. And then have energy as a presenter. At a business briefing, I don't have to have nearly as much energy, in my opinion, as I do on a PZC. Because it's done virtually. I really got to bring it. I got to be a little bit over the top, right? Go a little bit extra on this. So make sure your energy is high. Close stronger and close more often. Incorporate soft closes. Really, really important, guys. At a business briefing, I didn't have to close very often. I didn't have to build in the soft closes. And the reason was because of the circle up. I knew everyone was in that room. I knew I was going to have a circle up where I could answer any questions one-on-one. I could help close them then, right? At a PCC, you don't get that opportunity, guys. So I build in soft closes. A few samples. When you guys partner with us tonight, when you guys use the membership for the first time tonight, when you guys join this award-winning organization tonight, I use language like that. I probably say something similar at least 10 to 12 times during a PZC. And then I treat the PZC as the last time I'm ever going to see that group of people again. That is my mindset that really allows me to close, guys. I tell myself, right before I'm going to start it, this is my only shot. This will be my only window to help that new associate grow. I'm not going to get a second bat at this. And because of that, it forces me to step up my game, forces me to have higher energy, forces me to close harder and more often, right? And then the presentation, guys, it needs to be less than 30 minutes. This is really, really important. I've been on some PZCs here recently where people are running long, 45 minutes, an hour, hour and 15. Most people aren't blocking that big of a window. So even if they do stay on, they're not available for the 3-way call. They're not available for that follow-up, guys, which doesn't serve anybody very well. And then on the compensation slide, I like to use someone's name. I always pick a guest. Typically that guest has their video on. So if I see Jill here, Jill's leaning in, I'll give you a quick example. I'll say, Jill, hey, thank you for your energy, by the way. I know you're mute and you can't talk, but I appreciate it. I'm going to pick on you for a quick second. Hopefully you don't throw anything at me. Jill's a manager on the team. When Jill calls me up and says, Aaron, out of curiosity, and I go through the compensation, I don't have to do all that now. Guys, I have 100% success rate at signing up the person whose name I used. Think about that for a second. 100% success rate. They're leaning in. The other cool part, I tend to have a higher success rate of closing, of signups at the end of a Zoom when I use someone's name. Because once again, the warm market, they now see me say Jill's name as a manager over and over and over for 2 or 3 minutes on that slide. They're already incorporating Jill as a member of our team. If Jill, their friend, is doing it and the new associate, why aren't they doing it? Right? It's amazing the energy that you put out there when you do that little trick. So hopefully you guys steal that as well. And then the fortune is in the follow-up, guys. This isn't news to any leader on this call. You guys have heard it. This is more important that you guys are transferring this message to your brand new associate. And that's why I incorporated this several times on this slide, because it's so important. As soon as the PZC ends, guys, call the new associate. Don't wait for the associate to call you. Let them know what they did well. I'll give you a quick example. Tom, you killed it, man. You had 9 guests on. I can't even believe it. Your energy was up. Everybody had their video on. I just want to say first and foremost how proud I am of you. You absolutely killed it. Lift them up, guys. Let them get excited with this. Now remind them, hey, new associate, 99% of your guests aren't going to call you on your own, even though 99% of them saw value in what we're doing. So your job right now as we discussed earlier today, as we discussed yesterday, as you watched on Aaron Browning's video, call that list from hot to cold. I'm available right now. The minute you get the first one on the phone, you're going to merge over on a 3-way call with me, just like we practiced. Coach them up on that and strike while the iron's hot, guys. This conversation I just role played with you is less than 30 seconds. They have to get off the phone with you as the sponsor or the presenter and on the phone with their prospects. So, so important. They do it right now, not 10 minutes, not an hour, not tomorrow, right? Hopefully you guys see my sense of urgency on that, because it is so, so important. And I'm going to give you guys a quick 3-way hack. This is not perfect. Even with everything we're doing, even with the coaching, the videos, you're going to have some people fall back into their own old ways. And by old ways, I'm referring to playing not to lose versus playing to win. It's going to happen, guys. It happens to me. So here's a quick 3-way hack. If I hang up that call that we just did and my phone's not ringing in the next 3 or 4 minutes with prospects and the new associate, there's a disconnect. Something's not happening, right? And so I'll call the new associate. I'll say, hey, Tom, hey, what's going on, man? Out of curiosity, I haven't had a 3-way call yet. He'll say, oh, no one's answering, something similar. Look, do me a favor real quick. I noticed that Mark on that call had so much energy. He was leaning in when I was talking about the compensation, the associate side, the member perks. Get Mark on the phone with me real quick. What do you mean to say? Oh, simple. You're going to tell Mark that Aaron loved his energy, the presenter, and he's dying to hear his story. Okay, is that all I say? Yep, that's all you say. Once again, off script, guys. It's not perfect, but I will tell you right now, as a presenter, as a leader, I'm playing to win. I am playing to win for myself, my family, and that brand new associate. If I can get more people, more of his guests on the phone with us, guys, we're going to win. We're all going to win. So once again, it might not be the perfect 3-way transfer, guys, but I just need that person to get a win. Because if he gets a win, we get that sign up, he's more apt, more likely to really follow up and really lean in on the rest of his guests. Anyway, guys, I hope you found massive value from this. Anyway, guys, be good. God bless. And I look forward to crossing paths here in the future. Take care, guys.